The neon lights of Las Vegas are calling to me, and I'm not alone. Thousands upon thousands of people are lured to this oasis in the Nevada desert each year, chasing the dream of fortune, love, or maybe just a good time. What they don't realize is that those bright lights are also hiding something much darker. Behind them lies a web of debt, temptation, and violence. And once you step into Vegas, there's no telling when or where it might ensnare you. So fasten your seatbelts, because we're about to take off for Sin City, where the house always wins. Welcome to Vegas, where the odds are stacked against you. In this city of sin, dreams come true and fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye. The casinos here are palaces of luxury, complete with gold leafing, marble columns, and enough free drinks to keep you playing all night long. But don't be fooled by the glitz and glamour. The only thing these casinos are really offering is a chance to lose everything. The odds are always stacked against you. Whether you're playing blackjack, craps, or slots, the house always has an edge. But that doesn't stop people from trying. They come from all over the world to test their luck in Vegas, even if it means walking away with less money than they arrived with. After all, who doesn't love a good gamble? But it's not just the casinos that are rigged against you. The entire city seems designed to separate you from your cash. From the pricey shows and attractions to the expensive restaurants and bars, everything in Vegas comes at a cost. And if you're not careful, that cost can quickly add up. Of course, some people are willing to pay any price to have a good time. For them, Vegas is a playground for adults where anything goes. Here you can forget your worries and live life to the fullest, at least until the reality of your credit card bill hits and you re-back in your boring old life. As the night wears on, the temptations in Vegas become harder to resist. The casinos are filled with the sounds of slot machines ringing and the cheers of lucky winners. The bars are packed with people looking to let loose, and the nightclubs are throbbing with the hottest DJs spinning the latest tracks. It's hard not to get swept up in the excitement of it all, even if you know it's all just a carefully constructed illusion. After all, Vegas is known as the entertainment capital of the world for a reason. There's always something going on here, whether you want to see a world-class magic show, take in a concert by your favorite band, or dance the night away at one of the hottest clubs. And let's not forget about the shopping. From designer boutiques to high-end department stores, Vegas has it all. If you're looking to do some retail therapy, it's easy to spend a fortune here, but hey, who's counting? And then there's the food. Vegas is a foodie paradise with world-class chefs and innovative restaurants everywhere you look. You can dine in elegant surroundings or grab a quick bite to eat. Just be prepared to loosen your belt a few notches after a week of indulgence. Of course, not everyone is so lucky. Some people come to Vegas with dreams of making it big, only to find themselves stuck in a cycle of debt and despair. The city's underbelly is a dark and dangerous place where drugs and prostitution run rampant. And if you're not careful, you could easily get caught up in it all. To really understand Vegas, you have to look beyond the bright lights and the fancy casinos. Beneath that surface lies a city that's struggling to come to terms with its own darkness. In the seedy underbelly of Vegas, you'll find a different breed of people. These are the hustlers and the dealers, the ones who live on the edge and are willing to do whatever it takes to survive. They're the people who can't seem to catch a break, no matter how hard they try. Life in the shadows of Vegas is tough, but these people are resilient. They've learned to adapt and make the best of a bad situation. They may be living on the streets, but they're still hustling to make a better life for themselves. But it's not just the people who make Vegas so complicated. The city itself is a character in this story. It's a place where anything can happen and where the rules don't always apply. It's a city that's constantly changing, growing, and evolving, and yet somehow it still manages to maintain its unique charm. Now let's talk about money. The root of all evil and the lifeblood of Vegas. In this city, money talks, and it's not afraid to shout. Everyone here is motivated by money. The casino owners, the dealers, the slot machine technicians, they're all driven by the green stuff. It's no secret that the casinos are rigged in their favor. But that doesn't stop people from pouring their money into them. They come from all walks of life, but they all have one thing in common. They're looking for a good time. They're willing to spend whatever it takes to have a night they won't forget. But it's not just the casinos that are raking in the dough. Everyone here is looking to make a buck. The bellhops expect tips. The cocktail waitresses watch for generous pours. And the souvenir vendors know how to work a crowd. It's a city where the hustle is real and the competition is fierce. Everyone is fighting for a piece of the pie, but there's only so much to go around. The question is, who will take home the biggest slice? A sense of desperation hangs in the air, a feeling that if you don't have money, you don't really have anything. It's a stark reminder that in Vegas, money is king, and if you don't have it, you're nothing. You won't believe what happens next. He was born into a world of wealth and privilege, the son of a famous actor, but he never wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. Instead, he had his sights set on becoming a professional gambler, but while attending college, he soon realized that his gambling addiction was getting out of control. To fund his habit, he began stealing from his family and friends, but that wasn't enough. So he turned to bigger crimes like bank robbery. However, he was always careful to stay one step ahead of the law, until one fateful night he met a mysterious woman who introduced him to the world of high-stakes poker. At first, it was fun, a thrilling game where skill and strategy could make you a fortune. But as his losses mounted, he became desperate. He started cheating, using every trick in the book to win. But eventually he was caught and sentenced to prison. There he learned that the real game was played in the shadows, where the stakes were higher and the competition was fierce. Released from prison, he went to Vegas and changed his name to Dan. Now he lived for the thrill of the game, the rush of adrenaline as he placed his bets, and the feeling of victory when he won. But he was haunted by his past, the faces of those he had cheated and the consequences of his actions. And as he delved deeper into the world of high-stakes poker, he knew he was playing a dangerous game. His first stop was the Bellagio, one of the most luxurious hotels in Vegas. Inside, he felt a sense of familiarity, the same plush carpets and marble floors he had known growing up. But this was a different world. Here the air was thick with cigarette smoke and the clinking of glasses, and the low hum of conversation was punctuated by the occasional burst of laughter or curse word. He found a table with players engrossed in their cards, their faces a mix of concentration and anticipation. He sat down, placed his chips, and waited for the cards to be dealt. As the game progressed, he saw familiar faces, legends he had only seen on TV. There was Phil Ivey, the cerebral player with a poker face that could stop a clock. And then there was Doyle Brunson, the legendary Texas gambler with a steely gaze and an uncanny ability to read his opponents. He played alongside them, learning from their strategies and honing his own skills. But Vegas was more than just a playground for the rich and famous. He saw ordinary people walking around with their own dreams and aspirations. There were families with kids in tow, couples on romantic getaways, and groups of friends celebrating their last fling before the ring. He saw the energy and excitement that drew people to this city, the promise of a good time and the chance to win big. But he also saw the other side, the hidden costs and the dangers that lurked beneath the surface. He watched as a drunk man stumbled out of a casino, his pockets empty and his face pale. He saw the seedy underbelly of Vegas, the drugs and the prostitution, the petty crime and the violence, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. As the days turned into weeks, he played every day, winning and losing, but he knew he couldn't stay in Vegas forever. The city had a way of wearing on you, of draining your bank account and your soul. So he packed his bags and moved on to the next stop on his journey. On the outskirts of town, he found a cheap motel with peeling paint and a faded sign, but inside, it was a refuge from the noise and the chaos of the strip. His room was small, but it was quiet, and that was all that mattered. He spent his days playing poker in the back rooms of smoky casinos, and his nights wandering the streets, exploring the hidden corners of the city. He discovered a different side of Vegas. Away from the glitz and the glamour, he found a community of misfits and outcasts, people who had been drawn to the city by the promise of a better life. He met a woman named Ruby who ran a small diner off the strip. She was a tough nonsense woman with a heart of gold, and she became a mother figure to him. He also met a young man named Benny, who was trying to make it as a musician. Benny was talented but struggling, and he needed money to record his demos. He found himself torn between his desire for a normal life and his addiction to the game. The lure of the casinos was too strong, and he soon found himself back at the tables, playing day after day. He won and lost, but the money was just a means to an end. The real thrill was in the game itself, the strategy, the psychology, the endless possibilities. As the months passed, he became a regular at the Golden Nugget, a downtown casino with a rich history. It was a place where old-school Vegas met modern glitz, and he loved the atmosphere. He played against seasoned professionals and amateur gamblers, and he learned from them all. He developed a system, a way of playing that took advantage of the weaknesses in the game. It wasn't cheating, but it was effective. He won consistently, but never enough to attract the attention of the casino security. He was careful to avoid the pitfalls that had snagged other players, the hidden cameras, the surveillance, the private investigators. He continued to wander the streets of Vegas, discovering new places and meeting new people. But he always returned to the Golden Nugget, where the cards were his lifeblood and the chips were his currency. Then one day, everything changed. A new player arrived at the casino, a young man with a cocky grin and a pile of cash. His name was Tyler, and he was a professional gambler. He had heard about and he was determined to beat him. They played for hours and it was a close match. Tyler was skilled, but he was also arrogant. He made mistakes and capitalized on them. Slowly but surely, he built up a lead, but Tyler wasn't finished. He raised the stakes, and suddenly the game was neck and neck. With the final hand, Tyler went all in and put his fate into his cards. He had a straight, but it wasn't enough to beat, and his hopes of taking down the unknown gambler were dashed. As the crowd dispersed, he felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned around and saw a stern-faced man in a suit. His name was Mr. Williams, and he was a representative of the casino owner. He explained that they had noticed and wanted to offer him a job. He hesitated, torn between his old life and this new opportunity, but he knew he couldn't stay in Vegas forever. The city had taken too much from him already. He accepted the offer, and soon he was working as a security consultant for the Golden Nugget. His job was to spot cheats and keep the games running smoothly, and he took it seriously. He used his knowledge of the game to train staff and his intuition to spot potential problems. He also formed an unlikely friendship with Mr. Williams. The older man had been in the casino business for decades, and he shared his wisdom and experience with ease. He taught him the importance of discretion, the value of loyalty, and the art of reading people. Over time, he became an integral part of the team. He helped to maintain the delicate balance between security and hospitality, ensuring that the guests had a great time without compromising the integrity of the game. He never forgot where he came from, the struggles, the temptations, the dangers. He worked to protect the vulnerable, the addicts, the hustlers, the people who were easy prey in a city that thrived on exploiting weakness. As years passed, the Golden Nugget became more than just a workplace. It became a second home. He had a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, and a sense of hope for a future he had never dared to dream of before.